I'm going to be trying to fix this iMac that, when turned on, has display issues, is what I'm going to call it. If you look at that, I mean, it shouldn't look like that. So this is actually down to the graphics cards. And these iMacs, they're kind of well known to fail. So I am going to try and fix that today. So let's turn it off. Just going to unplug the power cable here. There we go. Let's get the display off. So there's screws that go around the perimeter. You can't quite see, but all the way around the end. And remove those screws, and you can take the display off. Like showing. Give me 2 seconds. So this iMac was sent to me from a friend, actually. He said it came from his old work. It had been in storage for a couple of years, and he never knew why. Well, it's quite obvious why it wasn't used. So let's see if we can fix it, eh? Once that is off, the display will just kind of pull forwards. If I can get a better angle on that. So like that. And then you've got to remove all the connectors that are inside. So you guys can't see this, but I can. Bear with me. There we are. So once you've got all the cables removed, just lift it up and out, and we're in. So put the display somewhere safe. I'm just going to put it far out of the way. And we are left with this. So there's no hard drive, which is not much of a problem right now. But what we've got to get to is right here. This is a graphics card. Now normally there's a lot more screws inside this thing, but it's clear to me that it's been taken apart before, so let's just get removing, I guess. So what I'm going to do in today's video is remove the graphics card and prepare it to install a new one. So I've already ordered one, so I'm just showing you the process of getting there. Now if you look at this section here, this is the power supply. Don't touch it. It's a bad idea. It will hurt a lot. I've made that mistake before. Just ignore that part. Well and truly. Let's keep removing everything. So just remove all the connectors off the motherboard. Then there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. And it should just pull towards you. And you should, I say should because it's never really a smooth process with these things. Should just lift up. Move all the RAM as well, actually. Probably help. So there's going to be other connectors on the back that I've got to remove as well. Just unplug all of them. There you go. Out comes the motherboard. So let me get the rest of it out the way. Again, don't touch that. Now we're left with the motherboard. So let's put you guys at your normal angle. Sorry about the noise there. Kind of get some sort of appreciation for these things as well. Let's get this graphics card out. So, right up here, this is our problem causer, a troublemaker. And let's get it out. If I remember correctly, because again, I haven't touched iMacs in a while, should just be 4 screws. It lifts up and it comes out. But let's find out. There's one. So these are quite weird screws. These are actually screws that screw onto screws, which is a bit of a tongue twister, if you ask me. If only these were made to be repaired. Which in this case they were actually. I'll give them some slack here. You know, there were components that were removable in here that weren't removable, you know, in the newer models. So, you know, credit where credit is due. At least you can repair most aspects of this thing. Get this Wi-Fi card out. This is actually damaged. There's an antenna missing, which normally was right there, so it looks like that, and it's supposed to be there, but whoever was in this last clearly didn't care. So let's continue with removing the screws. Up and out. Let's get the temperature sensor off. So this is our problem right here. This, so that goes in there. It's weird how these work actually. So what I want to try and do actually is, because I've got a few iMacs lying around, I might try and take the GPU out of one that I have lying around and plug that in, and if that works, then the iMacs I have are dead, but I don't know if they're all compatible. So, I mean, here you go. This is what it will look like. It's a mess of thermal paste in here. Apple knows that these are going to be thermally restricted, so they just cover it in the stuff in hopes that it won't fail, but in this case it's just hasn't been enough. But it is what it is. It's a shame really, because this probably wouldn't have failed if it had enough airflow. But I mean, that's every Apple product, isn't it? Right, there we are. So I'm going to keep this out of here. In fact, I'm going to keep everything unplugged, because I just want to make this as smooth as possible for when I get my new graphics card. Just going to make sure everything's okay on here. I mean, you can just kind of appreciate all the work that's gone into all of this. So what they did is they got an off-the-shelf graphics card, an AMD one, and they went to AMD, we want this smaller and more compact. And just look on the back of that. All capacitors, resistors, everything. You can kind of, give that some sort of credit. That's just, that would have taken a lot of engineering work to get that onto there. Anyway, still bad, still rubbish, but it's alright. So normally cooking these things in the oven fixes them temporarily as well. I don't know if you guys ever had, I don't know if you remember this Monday I did a PlayStation 3, and you know, when that first started becoming a problem, people used to stick their PS3s, they used to stick a hairdryer in the PS3 and cover it with a towel, and then it'd get really, really hot. And what that did was, most of the time when these cards fail, is the board warps from the heat. So obviously, naturally, as things get hot and cold, they move. And the connections that hold this chip here onto the motherboard, they're tiny, they're called, I don't know, they're small pieces of solder. And, you know, because this has over 1,000 contact points, obviously with movement, because the connections are so small, the slightest bit of movement cracks the solder, loses connection, and, you know, you get what you saw when I turned this thing on. Just weird lines. So, you know, you might be able to fix it by heating it up, because what heating it up will do is, you know, reflow the solder and get it connected again. But the issue lies within Apple using lead-free solder, and lead-free solder is just rubbish. But they have an eco-friendly face to maintain, so, you know, they've got to cut some lines somewhere, and this is it. So I'm just going to stick this back on. There's not really any point of it being out. I might take it home and stick it in the oven. Morning. So I'll pick this up next week on Monday, and hopefully the new graphics card would have arrived. And we'll see if it works. Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for watching. What's the time? I want to check the CPU as well, actually. So let me just get this back together so I don't mix up the screws. So bear with the silence here, guys. It's not intentional. It's just me getting to work. Let's grab a screwdriver, 1 second. I want to try and see if I tighten this down a lot, if it'll work, because sometimes just tightening on something that supports it like this, you might be able to get it working again. But you're just putting so much pressure on the chip that anything that's come undone just gets forced back together. In this case, I've got nothing to lose because this is already damaged and I've got another one coming on the way. So, you know, if you can avoid doing this, by all means, don't do this. It's just that, you know, I've got nothing to lose. So, let's see if that has worked. I've actually just broken the screw off in here. That is quite funny. Look at that. So that's what happens when you over tighten things. Oh, sorry. Will this focus, do you think? Will it focus? Let's find out. I just took the head right off of that screw. Oops. It's alright. I do have a spare one at home. Well, there goes the tightening idea, eh? That's alright. So, in fact, let's get the puppy, let's get it back together and see if it will work. Quite amused that I've done that, actually. I've never done that before, but then again, I've never tightened anything as much as I have like this before. That's fine. May as well try and test it, even though I know it's completely done at this point. Again, I've got absolutely nothing to lose, so why not? Let's get everything screwed back down. Hope you guys remembered where your screws go. I'm always going to make this point, sorry. It's just so important. Let's get this tiny screw back in. That's going to be difficult. Let's go a size smaller. There you go, perfect. Now for the long boring bit, which is getting everything back together. So I've got to go back to standing up and I'm going to get the big case back. guys back up. There we are. So it's quite difficult with this bit because you've got to make sure that none of the connectors get stuck behind. Make sure you plug everything back in as well. I said very confusing, but it's okay. We'll eventually get there. Just taking a look. Now we're just going to get everything plugged back in. Just getting everything plugged back in. Get these plugged back on. So these are just the Wi-Fi antennas. I'm not sure I can do about that third channel one. I might just have to buy a whole new Wi-Fi card if this ends up working. But apart from that, I'd say we're done. Get some RAM in. I'm gonna try and boot this thing and see if over tightening and breaking one of the screws in there has helped at all. So just bear with me. Right, let's get the display back on and see if it's made any difference. So to get these displays back in, you put it in, can you guys see? You put it in at the bottom, you plug it all back in, call it a day. I'm going to try and show you this last connector here, or last two connectors. There it goes. I'm happy with something there. Power cable plugged in. Let's see if we've got anything else. Nope. Still very broken. Okay, well, I know what the problem is, I know how to fix it. So before my iPad runs out of battery, I'll call it a day. Have a great one, guys. Bye-bye. Hey guys, thank you all so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed watching, please remember to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Follow me on Instagram at Lucas_Lane_1. Follow Soapbox at Soapbox Islington. And as always, have a great day. Bye now.